to another episode of Grey Magnolias. I'm gonna start off by lighting this candle. I got it from Aldi's, a fall scent. Hopefully it brings some kind of cool weather my way. Right now is a hurricane happening. It's nothing crazy, just a lot of wind and occasional rain, but the sun is out right now, so hopefully we can embody fall. It smells amazing. I don't really care for like the super sweet scents, but I do like the musky men's scents, so I like that there. So this video, I've been mentioning in my past couple videos, this is a massive book haul. I don't even think this is gonna maybe be a two-parter. Mind you, this is like an accumulation of possibly 3 months. I am still very mindful of my consumption of like how much I get, but again, I very rarely consume new books. I mainly find everything that I want to read via the thrift store, and again, I don't read anything too trendy either, but my collection has grown. I've lost track. I think I last calculated I'm up to 800, maybe 900 books, and I would have to say like 90% or more of them are thrifted, which I'm very happy. I kind of did like a rough calculation. I was like, oh, okay. But the most expensive books, like, I mean, I always go on sales for like Goodwill and stuff like that, so it's like either 40-50% off, and I don't gravitate much towards hardcover. I like paperback personally, so, and those average at my local Goodwill for like $1.99, so 40% or 50% off of that, it's like pennies. And then my local thrift store down the street, which I love it dearly, they price all their books unless otherwise for $1 or less, like in the YA section, or like their literature section, like the Odyssey and stuff like that. So let's just get started. I'm gonna start actually with this little pile here. I got all of these at Goodwill. This is like my vintage romance pile. So we're gonna start off with Judith McNaught, which I read my first book of hers. I can't remember what it is. I'll put a picture here. Promises. I don't know. It was amazing. It was like, I mean, that thing was falling apart. I like taped it up and salvaged it, but it's like an original cover. It was so good. I loved her instantly. So I haven't read anything else, but I found Whitney, My Love, which she's really known for. And this one is called Almost Heaven, which actually it might, Paradise, maybe it might be listed in here, the one that I read. Perfect. I think the one I read was Perfect. I don't know. I'll put a picture here anyway. So I got this, which I was really excited for. Oh God, where am I gonna put everything? I don't have much space. I'll just put it over here. Next, I got Sea of Dreams by Elizabeth Delancey. I see this lettering and I take it. I've had to refrain myself because it's like, Alma, are you really going to read that time? But it's just like, just so passionate about it. And I mean, it's well loved. And it has a beautiful setback, getting pirate damsel in distress vibes. So I'm not gonna bother, like, this video is already gonna be hours long, I feel, but yeah, so ooh, okay, well, it looks good. There's this one book series, I think it was a series, or it was kind of like, you know how most romances, it like follows all the siblings or all the brother, you know, something like that. And it was a pirate one. I remember it, but I cannot remember the name or anything like it. It was like, I still remember how amazing it was, and this was like decades ago now. Okay, moving along. telling you, this is gonna be crazy. We have A Dark Champion by Kinley MacGregor. Really beautiful autumnal colors here. The beautiful Rowena detests war and all who fight it, and would never allow a knight like Strider of Blackmar, ooh, I've never come across that name before, into her heart. But even the renowned Lady of Love needs a champion. Sold. And it has a beautiful setback on the back. I love the like paintedness and everything. So very, very beautiful. Continuing on, we have Love's Wild Wager by Taylor Ryan. Again, stunning cover. This is a Harley Quinn historical. I don't really care for Harley Quinns, but if it's like the original stuff, like it looks like this, then I will grab it. I haven't read one. Forced by her father's recklessness to produce a husband, Eben was ready to gamble all on making the best match, even though the catch of the season, Fitzhugh Eastmore was certainly willing. He was also polite society's most notorious rake. We always love a rake, you know. So the Duke of Eastmore has no desire to race into marriage, yet the thought of the hot-blooded Miss Victor wasting herself on a lesser man seemed a crime. To say nothing of the way the woman's lithe movement sent a current raw need coursing through his veins every time she entered a room. Sold. Okay, and up next we have another vintage Harley Quinn historical. It's called Besieged. Please read. I do read a lot, but I just cannot read sometimes, you know. By Laurel Ames. I think I got at least the, I don't know if it shows you reverse or not, but though she was one of society's greatest beauties, Elizabeth Fallcrest cared little for the intrigues of the temps. So beautiful cover, so dreamy. It's like this dreamy haze every time I see it, and I'm like, yes. I'm pretty sure I have read Victoria Holt, which is the next one. I'm pretty sure. But this is The Legend of the Seventh Virgin. Sold. I mean, look at that cover. According to the legend, 6 novices live in the Cornish convents, strayed from their vows and were turned to stone. The 7th faced quite a different fate. Years later, when the convent became the family mansion of the St. Launceston family, fate beckoned another young virgin. So this captures the haunting evil of Wuthering Heights, which I started reading, but I stopped, and it's on my list, and the suspense of Rebecca. So, sounds good. It's another, no, this is not Harley Quinn, but sold. And this is, this is the second volume of this, which I'll have to do my research. I try not to do that anymore, of just grabbing. If it's not book 1, and it's not like, okay, well, I want to get it now, and I'll for sure, like, just keep searching for it, I try not to grab it, because I have a lot of in the middle of a damn series, which you have to read in order, which some that I have up here, actually. Anywho, so we have the second volume of The Queens of England by Jean Plady, who's also Victoria Holt. So this is another one of her pen names, and it's called The Queen of This Realm. So very, like, I don't know, are we old book smell or new book smell? I am old book smell all the way. If I could, I've seen candles on Etsy. I haven't bought one yet, so I'm not sure if, like, it would be worth it, because it's such a like welcoming smell for me. So I don't know, I mean, like, the cover alone, a man on his knees is a win. Oh, we have a little signature here by them. I think the artist says Bush. So I'm gonna have to do my research to see if I really need to read book 1, or, oh hey, I found something. Oh, a piece of paper. Wait. It says, oh, maybe, I don't know if this is like a prank or something. This says, killer likes to masturbate. Okay. We'll see what that means. That's so funny. Or maybe it was like a kid who like wrote that in there, but it kind of looks like an adult penmanship. Okay, anyways, moving on. Oh, I got several Victoria Holts here. Okay, so this is book, oh my god, Roman numerals, here we go, showing how little I know. Oh no, so this is 6, so V is 5 and 1 is 1, so this is book 6 of the Gregorian saga. It's called Perida's Prince. So I'll have to do my research to see if I can kind of read it out of order and it's not like too big of a deal, but again, gorgeous cover. Okay, up next is, this is everything I found at my local thrift store, which I love dearly. Everything's $1, and then they sometimes have buy one get one free. They have 50% off, so it's like pennies. And like, how can you not? How can you not? I mean, like even for like thrift books and Pango, which is another like secondhand book app, or half price books, it's like it's still at minimum $3 to $4 a piece, which again, that's still very affordable, but that adds up quickly. So I feel less guilt with my my coin purse doing this. So we'll just get started. I read this and I actually would love to reread it. And so this, I don't know which book. This is book 2. So it's The Discovery of Witches by Deborah Harkness. I got shut over the night, so I'm gonna keep my, I've seen book 1, but I've always passed it up, so I don't think I'll have too much trouble completing, I don't think. And then I got this little series, which kind of just seems like warm and cozy. It follows, it's set in Ireland, which I would dream and love and die to be there. It's just like, it's rolling hills of like green meadows and Irish accents. So it's by Patrick Taylor. It's called An Irish Country Village, which it follows like a doctor. He kind of like gets transferred to this small village and kind of like gets immersed in village life. And I love British TV, like shows, murder mysteries. I feel like I've seen them all and they're amazing. So like Midsummer Murder, so every episode of that show is like a movie length, or like a mini movie. It's like an hour 40 minutes, and there's like 20 something seasons. I've almost watched it through 3 times. That's how much I love that show. An Irish Country Christmas, again, beautiful cover. So it's kind of like his first Christmas. It's actually like, there's several books, but I actually got book 1, 2, and 3, which, I mean, you can't pass it up. And then I think this is book 1, An Irish Country Doctor. So, and I've been reading Tandem book with audio, and it's life-changing. That's another reason, like, when I'm finding books, besides like, okay, I want it and I'll just read it, I check to see if, well, it has an audiobook, and all 3 of these do. So I really hope the person that, I didn't hear a sample, but I hope that the person audio reading this is Irish. So that'll be fun. Oh my gosh, my pile is toppling. Please don't fall. How much? Okay. I picked this up. It's called Tangled Up in You, which is a Tangled retelling or inspired by Christina Lauren. And it just sounded kind of cutesy, kind of demure. So I picked it up. I was like, I mean, like, for $1, and then like, I don't necessarily know if, I mean, I haven't read it yet, but I don't necessarily know if I want to keep it in my collection, because that is one thing I do. Like, I read, and if it's just like, okay, it won't be a reread, or I don't want a part of my collection, and then I just redonate it. And it's just like a beautiful cycle. Someone else gets to love it. I'll put that down here. And I don't know if I'm going to make a separate video depending how many I read, but I just finished the show Chaos on Netflix. And if you haven't watched that, I highly recommend it if you're into Greek mythology. It's dark comedy, it's twisted, it was done really well. The cinematography, it was amazing. I was like hooked. I was like on edge. So it kind of follows, I don't know how accurate it is of, myths and legends of the Greek mythology or whatever, but it has like Perseus, Zeus, Hera, Poseidon, Dionysus, Ares. It has like a ton of people. Minos, the Minotaur. It's all over. It's set in modern time, like a modern Athens and Crete and all that stuff. So good. I can't recommend it enough. And I have other books that I checked out from my library, which I just finished one. I'd probably just make a separate video about that. Let me stop talking. But I found, which I read by her, it's Madeline Miller. I read Song of Achilles, beautiful book. And they had Circe, which she came out first, and people either love more than Achilles song or not. But it's like in pristine condition. It's so pretty. I can't wait to read it. So that's on my list. I just have like in a Greek mythology kick, like obsessed. And then another one of my favorite authors is Ken Follett, because my dad, I think he picked it up from Walgreens or something. My dad's an avid reader, and I think I get that from him. But he picked me up Pillars of the Earth. I don't know, it wasn't book 1, it was like book 2, I think. He picked it up for me, and I devoured that in a week. And mind you, that was like 1,000 pages. I like breathed. I think it was during the summertime on the couch. I didn't move a muscle. It was so good. So so now it's like he came out with a prequel, and he's come out with 2 or 3 other books besides At World's End and Pillars of the Earth. And I have completed the collection, which I'm really excited about. It's I forget what book 1 is called, but this is the last one, which is called The Armor of Light. It is thick. So yeah, I would love to kind of, oh my god, I think this might be the longest book. Is this a year? No. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. I was like, it said 1,799. I was like, holy shit, but it's the year 1799. But it is very thick though. How many pages is it? It's about 800 pages, 737. So yeah, and I don't know if it's a very popular series, and it has a game that my husband actually said is really popular. I even think it has a show, but it literally follows like a family lineage and history and the building of this church and all the nasties and in-betweens that happen with it. And from what I remember, it was really good. He writes beautifully, very historically accurate, very, very good historical fiction. I can't recommend it enough. I haven't read anything else of his. I think I tried to read something else and I wasn't really into it, but excuse me. So I completed that, and I'm very excited. Okay, and continuing on, these are also from my lovely thrift store, and I got 3 from Goodwill, which actually, let me just do those real quick. And I have so many more. I have such an issue. So we have A Darkness Forged in Fire by Chris Evans. Sounded really good, and it's book 1. I'm kind of like finally getting into fantasy, and it was free on Audible, the audio, so it's not rated so high. It's like rated a 3 point whatever, but I always take that with a grain of salt, and I try to go in as blind as I can because I've been burned, and I'm sure I've not read really good books that have really bad reviews. I also got Frankenstein by Mary Shelley, kind of like growing my classic literature collection. I've never read it, so that, and I love Agatha Christie, and I got The Mysterious Mr. Quinn, which, I mean, like, you cannot go wrong with her. This is one story, so it's a Harper cover. And so that's that with Goodwill. And now continuing on, I got Nutshell by Ian McEwan. So it's a it seems like a dark comedy, kind of from what I understood. Trudy has betrayed her husband John. She's still in the marital home, a dilapidated, priceless London townhouse, but John's not here. Instead, she's with his brother, the profoundly banal Claude, and the two of them have a plan. But there is a witness to their plot, the inquisitive 9-month resident of the Trudy's womb. So, I don't know, and it's also on audiobook from loan on my library, at my library. So, I don't know, it sounded interesting. So I was like, okay, I'm trying to branch out, you know? Okay, I had to make room on my phone, running out of storage. So let me just wrap this up. So another book I got is by Edward Rutherford. There we go. It's called Dublin. It's kind of, again, like a historical fiction. It just seemed interesting. It's a thick book. The epic begins in pre-Christian Ireland during the reign of fierce and powerful High King Tara, with a tale of two lovers and a princely colonel in the ravishing, oh my god, can't even say that name, whose trials echo the ancient Celtic legend of Culanian. From the stirring beginnings, Rutherford takes the reader on a graphically realized journey through the centuries, through the interlocking stories of powerful, imagined cast of characters, druids, chieftains, monks, smugglers, merchants, missionaries, noblewomen, rebels, cowards. We see England through the lens of its great city. So I guess it's not like maybe necessarily historically accurate for like peoples and stuff like that, but it sounded good. So I picked that up. And then I picked up this one, which I think it's Christian fiction, which I've like never really read, but it's called Stonefield. It's where she's like forced, like, hey, you need to read your Bible more and everything and all this stuff, but she finds this guy in a field with, like, you know, crop circles made, and she gives him the name Stonefield, and he's like, I know, she's trying to help him and everything. So it sounded really good. In a small Missouri town on the brink of a civil war, Katrina finds a man making strange patterns in Stonefield, where her family's sorghum crop grows. He's mad with fever, naked, and strikingly beautiful. He has no memory of who he is or what he does. But that doesn't bother Katrina, because she doesn't like thinking about things she's done either. Katrina calls this mysterious man Stonefield, and they fall passionately, dangerously in love. All they want to be together in harmony with the land, away from Kat's protective brother and new fanciful preacher and the neighbors who are scandalizing their relationship. But Stonefield can't accept the truth about who he is, and the conflict tearing apart the country demands that everyone take a side before the bloodbath reaches their doorstep. And she's inspired by Wuthering Heights, which I really need to read that. So, I don't know. I picked it up, I read it like that, and I was like, oh, I'm interested. So I read that, and the second to last one, it's called Tokyo Ever After by Nico Jean. Oh, I didn't say who. Let me go back here. By Christina Lindsay. I didn't read the author. So yeah, this is Tokyo Ever After, and I think it's giving like Cinderella. She's Japanese American. It's not easy being Japanese American in her small, mostly white Northern California town. Izumi, or Izzy, because it's easier this way, has always felt it's been her and her mom against the world, but then she discovers a clue to her previously unknown father's identity. And she's none other than the Crown Prince, and he's none other than the Crown Prince of Japan. Which means outspoken, irredeemably Izzy is literally a princess. In a whirlwind, Izumi travels to Japan to meet her father she's never known and discover the country she's always dreamed of. But being a princess isn't all ball and gowns and tiaras, and there are conniving cousins, hungry press, and a scowling but handsome bodyguard who just might be her soulmate, and thousands of years of tradition and customs to learn practically overnight. Izumi soon finds herself caught between worlds and between visions of herself. Will Izumi crumble under the weight of the crown, or will she live out her fairy tale happily ever after? So it's giving, well, I mean, she's the princess bodyguard trope, which I like that. It's YA. I've been reading, a side note, I've been reading a couple YAs, and I don't feel like they're YAs. They're quite brutal. I don't even know what qualifies as a YA anymore. Like, I know Twilight's YA, but some of the stuff I've read, I'm just like, I was not expecting that. That's quite brutal and violent, and I mean, mind you, they're all over 18 from the YAs I've been reading, but I just kind of, yeah, but the cover's really pretty. It's kind of like a paper cutout thing. So yeah. And I guess there's a book too called Tokyo Dreaming. I might keep my eye out for it. And lastly, which I think this is going to be a video that I kind of like do, I've never, don't arrest me, but I've never read Pride and Prejudice. And I don't even think I've seen the movie. I prefer Jane Eyre, personally. I haven't read the book either yet. I tried to and I couldn't get into it, but I'm going to. So I have Pride and Prejudice, which I got for 50 cents at my beautiful local thrift store. And I got, this is Darcy's Story by Janet Aylmer, I think. I don't know. It's here. And I was like, you know what? And I have the audiobook for Pride and Prejudice. And I was like, I'm going to do a read. I'm going to do a reaction read video of Pride and Prejudice. And I know there's like a ton of like spin-offs or interpretations of Pride and Prejudice because it's kind of like a monumental staple or ground level of romance in, you know, of like modern day romance reads. So I thought it'd be fun to read that and then read this because I know there's like a Pride and Prejudice zombie one and stuff like that. So, and I haven't looked, I don't know if I looked up reviews. So yeah, I thought it'd be interesting to like read Pride and Prejudice, then read this, and kind of, because I do, like, I think I've mentioned it several times in my videos, I love double point of view. I love getting into the mind of the male character. It's just, you know, really, really good. It just really adds to the whole atmosphere and element of reading. But yeah, I'm gonna end that here. That is that is the end of part 1. I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, like 6 other books. Maybe I'll share them. Maybe I'll just make a post of them. But yeah, so that is everything I've acquired in the past few months. If you've read any of these, let me know. If you've made it this far, I don't know, leave me a book emoji, I guess, in the comments, or let me know what you've acquired in the past couple months, if it's either a thrift store or brand new. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed, and I hope it wasn't too long-winded. Yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Bye.